So thanks again, everyone, for joining our webinar today, Applying for a WES Credential Evaluation for Employment, Higher Education, or Licensing in Canada. My name is Riley Cohen. I'm the CEO here at CanadaVisa. Many of you have probably encountered the term ECA, or Educational Credential Assessment, throughout your journey of applying for Canadian immigration. Today, you'll be learning about credential assessments in more detail and how they can benefit you beyond just your immigration application, such as in professional licensure, further education, and employment. As such, we've invited World Education Services Canada, or WES, to discuss credential evaluations. WES has set a standard for international academic credential evaluation, supporting millions of people as they seek to achieve their academic and professional goals. Today's experts are Kevin Kamal, Director of Business Development. Kevin has led WES Canada's institutional client development and relations team for the past 23 years. He works collaboratively with all the stakeholders in the international academic credential assessment and recognition community in Canada. Mentoring immigrants or refugees are his passion. Prior to joining WES, Kevin worked in both private and public sectors. He holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and master's degrees in social sciences and international relations from universities in the United States. Kevin has co-authored articles on the education systems of Turkey and the United Arab Emirates. And our second speaker is Carolyn Gevergis, Client Success Specialist. Carolyn provides support to the institutional relations team in Canada by communicating with various partners, such as educational institutions, licensing bodies, and employers, and by answering questions about WES services and evaluations. Carolyn represents WES at conferences and delivers info sessions at community agencies. She has been with WES Canada since its inception in 2000 and enjoys helping newcomers in their settlement journey. Carolyn speaks 6 languages and holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Concordia University in Montreal. So thank you for joining, team.
Thank you.
Our speakers will present for around 25 minutes. After that, we'll move to the Q&A portion of our webinar, where we will respond to as many of your questions and comments as possible. You can ask them in chat. Please note, though, we can only answer general questions and comments about credential evaluations. For more specific questions and comments, please reach out to us after the webinar. Once again, please do not share any personal information in the chat. The chat is public and other people can see it. So specifically, do not share your WES reference number in the chat. And on that note, I'll invite WES to begin the presentation.
Thank you.
Start.
Thank you, Riley. First and foremost, I want to say big thank you to CanadaVisa.com for our partnership. We value the partnership, and especially this webinar. Thank you for partnering with us to deliver this webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, again, depending on where you are. Myself and Carolyn Gevergis, my colleague, joining you from Toronto area, Toronto, Canada. We each going to take turn and cover some slides. And at the end, we are very much looking forward to hear from you, your comments and your questions. And don't forget your comments too. Like if you have comments to share with us, please do so. So this is the outline of kind of a conversation me and Carolyn has prepared for you. First, we're going to talk about WES itself. Both of us have been at WES for a very long time. We can talk about WES forever, really. But we will try to, we will try to behave and not to talk too much about the organization itself, and really give you the information that it is going to benefit you. We'll talk about recognition, very important, WES services, our application process, and we have really good free tools, resources and tools, and we will share that with you, and I hope you will use them. Now, about WES, first, organization has a stated mission, and it is very important for us to talk about it. Our mission is we help people learn, work, and thrive in new places. We help society recognize value of people's education and experience. And our vision is everyone is able to put their education and experience and skills to work anywhere in the world and not necessarily in Canada. We've been around for 50 years. Next year, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. We were introduced to Canada by a government contract, Ontario government contract, 23 years ago in 2000. In Canada, we have 121 staff, and last year, we assisted about 348,000 applicants just with our Canadian operation. Now, from that 380,000 or so applicants, if you are curious to know where are our clients coming from, this is the top 10 countries for us in a kind of a priority order. Our India has been our number one country for many years. I am certain that many of you are representing these beautiful countries today and joining us from these countries, but we thought to share this data with you and it may interest you. Now, there's a lot here, and I may not speak to every single part of this slide, but again, we thought it will be a good information for you to see. I'm going to only focus on two areas here that I think it may interest you. One is actually, if you see on the bottom right corner, is the field of study. You see, like in our 2021 data, the number of applicants we assisted, we helped them to get a credential evaluation. What are their majors? What are their specialization? This is relevant, I think, for our conversation in the context of Canadian labor market trends. Very likely you have heard quite a bit that our labor market demand these days are in certain areas. Like I can point out the health profession. It is known that Canada is facing healthcare worker shortages, especially in area of nursing. And again, to me, if you are one of those who belong to those occupations, or if you are trained both academically and work experience in those fields, you are very well positioned to take advantage on the demands that we have for those occupations. Again, like the 15% math and computer sciences, we all know that historically for many years, the demand for software engineers or computer science engineers or IT field is very high. So taking advantage of those labor market trends, you are in a good position to secure a good job. The other part I really want to focus is the highest education level. Let's just, in the interest of time, let's just focus on Canada. You see, like 39% of our applicants, they had graduate level credentials, master's level, PhD. No wonder we have known in Canada that we are attracting the most highly educated professionals to our country. So again, to me, that is significant information. Now, generally speaking, we are used by professional licensing bodies, by universities and colleges. We are used by employers, and we are, of course, used by the federal government of Canada or IRCC for express entry process. And I'm going to talk about this a bit later in details. Now, recognition. When it comes to international academic credentials, it is kind of known or even documented that international education is a little bit discounted in Canada, and that's unfortunate. However, there are solutions for it. Really, let's focus on the solutions. Let's focus on the positive part of the recent developments. So again, if you have international academic credentials and you landed in Canada, it is highly recommended that you get a credential evaluation from one of the services, hopefully from WES, And you try to get recognition with licensing bodies when you are applying for licensure. In Canada, we have good number of occupations, professional occupations, and trades level occupations that they are regulated. That is what we call it. They are regulated. And each province have regulatory bodies, respective regulatory bodies that they regulate the occupation. So it is good. It is good. You try to get a recognition from the licensing bodies. Post-secondary institutions, meaning colleges, universities, again, whenever if you are trying to do higher education in Canada, normally they have admissions requirement and you have to get a recognition for your prior studies. Same with employment opportunities. Some employers are very keen on credential evaluations. Some are not, and we will talk a bit more about that. And immigration to Canada, which again we will go a bit deeper very soon. Now, when it comes to higher education, again, let me share a background with you. There have been very documented studies that good number of immigrants, even when they have a bachelor's degree from another country, once they land in Canada, they do another degree, or at least they do some kind of a post-secondary education in Canada. Normally, our educational institutions, they have what we call admissions requirement. If you are applying for one of their program, they have an admissions requirement, and you have to meet those requirements, especially if you have international education. So, and those requirements vary by universities, colleges, whether they are full-time, part-time, or continuing education. Our best advice is really, if you are trying to do higher education, if you want to use your credential evaluation for higher education, we highly recommend you contact the university and learn about their requirement. I can tell you with confidence that our service, WES service, is highly used by universities and colleges in Canada, especially the 24 community colleges in Ontario. They use WES services. However, it is a good practice that you contact them directly, learn about their requirements before applying to WES. There's another reason that you may want to do credential evaluation before applying to higher education, and that is the notion of credit transfer. Like, for instance, if you already have a bachelor's degree from another country and you want to do some kind of a post-secondary diploma, postgraduate diploma in Canada, it is possible that you may negotiate credit transfer. By negotiating a credit transfer, you're going to save money and time. I'm not kidding anybody here. Like, negotiating credit transfer is not an easy process, but it is done. We survey our applicants annually, twice a year actually. We learn from their experiences that they were successful negotiating credit transfer. So try it. Licensing. I provided the background already, and really my only emphasis here is going to be even more so that if you belong to regulated occupations, if your academic attainment qualifications, if your experience is in the occupations or fields of regulated occupations in Canada, like nursing, physiotherapy, pharmacy, engineering. If that is your case, please contact the regulator first before you commit yourself to any credential evaluations. I'm going to come back to this. Beside credential evaluation, regulators or professional licensing bodies, they have other requirements. It could be written exam or practical exam. So by contacting them directly, you will learn about their overall requirements, and credential evaluation could be one of them. I can tell you again by great confidence that our service is used by many professional licensing bodies or regulators in Canada. But it is again good practice. You contact them first to learn about their requirements. Another reason to contact them, we have two different types of evaluation report. My colleague Carolyn Tverges is going to cover those areas later. You will learn what kind of evaluation report, what type of evaluation report the licensing body requires from WES. Employment is a big one. Like we know that the most immigrants, once they land in Canada, employment is the first thing in their mind to secure employment. We know the necessities of life. We all have to deal with it. Especially when it comes to employment, I recommend reading the job posting very carefully, meaning that see if there is an education requirement in the job posting. And if there is, it is highly recommended that you get a credential evaluation and submit your report with your resume cover letter. Whether it is, we don't have much paper applications anymore, but submit a PDF version online when you are applying for a job. And we have a language for you on this slide. Like, if we have evaluated your credential or another service, use that language on your resume that your credentials have been evaluated and they are comparable to a Canadian degree, and emphasize that even further in your cover letter. Even more so, emphasize that any chance you get in the job interview, emphasize that your credentials are evaluated and they are up to par with Canadian standards. You may want to know employers are using us many different ways, not just for hiring purpose. They also use us for promotional opportunities. You may be working for an employer. You may have been working for 3-4 years. Now they have a promotional opportunity, and they want to make sure everybody's competing on the same footing, so-called. And they may ask you to apply to get a credential evaluation and submit your report. Another way employers have used us in the past is salary adjustment. They may have employees who have been in the company for many years, and now they have some kind of a equity kind of a, and they want to make sure that everybody with same level of education are compensated equally properly, and they use us for salary adjustments. Now, finally, immigration. I have to be very clear here. When it comes to immigration and academic credential evaluations, I am not talking about sponsoring a family member. No, not at all. Here our main focus is express entry process. That very likely many of you are familiar with it. ECA or credential evaluation for express entry, it is required. It is a requirement by federal government of Canada. And again, if your goal is, if your immediate goal is immigration, it is required, and we have a different kind of a report for IRCC or ECA. And of course, you are sitting in a perfect webinar. CanadaVisa.com, they have a lot of good resources. I encourage you to subscribe to their newsletter. They have very valuable information prior to immigration that you can use. You are in a perfect webinar for that purpose. And now I'm going to pass the PowerPoint, the presentation to my colleague, Carolyn Tverges. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Riley. Good morning. Bonjour à tous. It's a pleasure to be at the presence of such a global audience today. So in this section, I will explain the different types of evaluation reports that we offer and how to apply. So one of the evaluation reports WES offers is called document by document evaluation, which includes the Canadian equivalency summary. And under credential analysis, we state your name as it's written on your educational documents, how we authenticated your documents, And we also capture your major field of study. Generally speaking, this report is recommended for school admission and employment purposes. The fee for this report is $122 for WES basic service and $159 for WES ICAP service. And if you give me a minute, later on, I will explain the differences between the WES basic and WES ICAP. The other report that WES offers, it's called course by course. So it's an evaluation report that contains all the information in a document by document evaluation and some additional details about your education. Now, the significance of WES course by course evaluation is the converted credit hours and grades. So basically what we do is we convert your credits and grades from the system you have studied to Canadian credit system and grades. And one thing, my apologies, one thing I want to add here, we also calculate your GPA, which stands for grade point average. And that is an important information for schools that you are applying to, because your GPA level is part of admission requirements, especially if you're applying to graduate schools. Now, the fee for course by course evaluation is $223 for WES basic service and $260 for WES ICAP service. And I want to stress the fact these are our current fees at the moment. And also another fact is WES charges per application or per person, which means we will evaluate all your degrees for one fee. So I promised to explain the difference between the WES ICAP service and the WES basic service. So the WES ICAP stands for International Credential Advantage Package, and WES ICAP for short. Through the WES ICAP service, WES will store your verified transcripts and your evaluation report in our database. So what happens is that WES can send your completed evaluation report and verified transcripts to the institutions and licensing bodies that you're applying to. So this service will save you time, money, by avoiding to arrange multiple transcripts to go to different institutions or organizations in Canada. And you also will receive a WES digital badge when you have an ICAP service. So basically, if you have a WES basic service, if you have a recipient, the recipient will receive only your WES report. But if you have a WES ICAP service, the recipient will receive both your WES report and the transcripts that WES has received directly from your institution. Now, for those of you who already have an ECA completed with WES, and now you are in Canada and you want to continue your journey here, you need to upgrade that ECA to a standard WES report. So what you need to do is you can log into your WES report or your WES account, and then you can choose the reason for the upgrade or the purpose for the upgrade, whether it's for licensing or whether it's for continuing education or employment. And then you can choose between the two reports, either document by document or course by course. Select your recipient, pay for the upgrade fee. You will get a brand new WES reference number, and then you will get, at the end of the process, a standard WES report that can be used now that you are in Canada. Now, for the upgrade fees is, if you're upgrading your ECA to a document by document standard report, the upgrade fee is $52. If you're upgrading it to a course by course evaluation, it's $104. And as Kevin mentioned, if like you've been in Canada for a couple of years now, and the beginning you have done a document by document evaluation, but now for some reason you're wanting to do a course by course evaluation, again, the upgrade fee will be $104. So the degree equivalency tool, is a tool that you can use to plug in your degree and find out the equivalency before you apply to WES. So if you want, you can just go to our website, create an account for yourself, plug in your credentials, and you will get the equivalency before you actually pay and apply to WES. One thing I want to mention, it's for degree level credentials. And also I have a sample of the degree equivalency tool. So in this sample, the applicant has inserted 2 of his or her credentials, one a bachelor and the other one a master degree, and they got the equivalency using this free online tool. And this is not to replace the formal WES evaluation, but this is, as I mentioned, it's just a tool, a preview tool for you to find out what the equivalency will be once you apply to WES. So now I will go through the application process and how to apply to WES. So the first page that is very important page on WES's website is our required documents page. So because it's important, you will read the detail of the instructions about which documents to submit to WES and how to submit them. So the document requirements will vary depending on the country you have studied in. It is important to carefully follow the provided instructions just to make sure that your evaluation report will be completed on time. So WES's reputation among schools and licensing bodies is based on our very strict document requirements. So generally, we require the academic transcripts to be sent to WES by the issuing institution in a sealed envelope or to be authenticated by a respective authority in your country. WES also accepts your educational documents sent digitally with secure electronic file transfer protocol by your school. To date, we have partnered with thousands of global institutions to receive documents electronically. But again, by visiting our required document page, you can learn whether your school is already capable of sending your documents to us digitally or not. If not, you can always share the digital partnership form on our website with your school, and they can start that partnership with us. So we offer 3 simple steps for you to apply to WES. So in step number 1, you apply online and you receive a WES reference number. In step number 2, you submit the documents according to our requirements. In step number 3, once our evaluators ensure that WES has received all the required documents in the manner specified for your country and credential, then we can start the process of your evaluation. So if you have an ECA file with WES, we usually need 3 business days to do the evaluation. If it's a if it's a document by document evaluation, we need 5 business days, and if it's a course by course, we need 6 business days. We highly recommend that you add the recipient to you as a direct recipient of your WES report, as a lot of them prefer to receive the WES report sent to their offices directly. So if you're applying to licensing bodies, to universities, colleges, it's best that you add them as a direct recipient on your WES report. For those documents that we require from you, like a copy of your degree certificate or the English or French translations, you can upload them directly by logging into your WES account and upload those copies directly into your WES account. And another thing that you can do through this, also you can contact WES directly once you are in your WES account. If you have any file-related questions, you can definitely send us, our customer service, your questions through the contact us, and then our customer service will get back to your questions. So WES Resources and Tools, we are committed to the success of our internationally educated applicants. We offer free tools and other resources to engage and inform our applicants as they work to achieve their goals. So I already shared information on the free WES tool. The WES Advisor blog is a portal that offers advice on education, employment, and licensing with resources to help our internationally educated professionals advance their career goals. With the WES Advisor newsletter, if you subscribe to this newsletter, you will receive a bi-weekly newsletter with helpful articles, webinar invitations. So if you go to wes.org/ca/subscribe, you can subscribe to this newsletter. And you can also get invites to our webinars, which we offer information to assist you in your quest to pursue higher education, licensing, or employment in Canada. With your WES account, you can do a lot of things by logging into your WES account. You can track your package, you can update your information, you can edit your profile and upgrade your order. And as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you can also contact our customer service while you're logged in into your WES account. So WES Digital Badge, you remember I said that you will receive a WES Digital Badge if you have the ICAP service. Now, what is WES Digital Badge? So you can now securely display and share your verified credentials with anyone in the world instantly. So the WES Digital Badge can be displayed online for maximum visibility and recognition. You can share your badge in your email signature, on your digital resume, and most importantly, on your social media profiles like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. A lot of people use the WES Digital Badge as a tool when they seek employment on their LinkedIn profiles. And with that, we now get to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn and Kevin. I want to sort of reiterate how thankful we are to be partnering with WES as well. Certainly a lot of great information in your presentation. So on behalf of CanadaVisa.com and our user base, thank you a lot. We're excited now to move into the Q&A portion of this webinar. Again, we're going to try to get to as many questions and comments that you have as that you have sent us by email or by chat. Once again, please do not share any personal information in the chats, including your WES reference number. And please don't stop asking your questions or making your comments, because if we see a good one come in now, we might just ask our expert speakers. So without further ado, let me ask our first question for Carolyn. Carolyn, Joshua asked a simple question by email to us. How long does it take to evaluate my credentials in general?
In general, so we need 7 business days for our course-by-course evaluation, 6 business days for our ECA for immigration files, and 3 business days for our document-by-document evaluation.
Great, sounds good. And is that information, sort of the status of your application, available on your portal?
The status of, yes. So if they log into their WES accounts, they will see the update, like whether WES has received the documents, on hold, in progress. So they will see the status of their applications. Yes.
Amazing. Thanks, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Kevin, we got a question by email as well. This question came from Alexander. And Alexander asked, how do you do the evaluation for pharmacy-related courses? And what is the process to get registered for practice in Canada?
Excellent. That's a really good question, and especially it is a pharmacy one. And I should have emphasized this when we talked about ECAs for express entry and IRCC. Generally speaking, we can evaluate any academic credentials from any country outside of Canada and US. However, when it comes to certain regulated occupations like pharmacy, especially for express entry immigration, we actually we have a note on our website that we encourage the candidates to contact Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada, because for express entry process, IRCC accepts their credential evaluation. Again, we have a note on that on our ECA pages. So a few things. Number one, if your intention to immigrate to Canada under express entry process, please, and you're a pharmacist, please do not start with us. Contact Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada. Now, it happens to a lot of our candidates. They are trained pharmacists from different countries, but once they arrive to Canada after immigration, they want to pursue other occupations. They want to pursue other professions. Like, you can make a good living from being a salesperson in pharmaceutical company. Now, if that is the scenario, you are not going to work as a pharmacist, but in different occupations, absolutely you can use our service, get a credential evaluation from WES and present that to the prospective employer. I hope that helps, but by the way, I should add too, even post-immigration, if your goal is to get a license to practice pharmacy in Canada, I encourage you to totally start with the pharmacy regulatory bodies in each provinces and not with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. I agree. Great question. Carolyn, we got this question a lot in chat as well as by email. How long is the WES assessment valid for?
So the standard WES reports are good forever, so there is no expiry to standard WES reports. When it comes to ECAs, there is 5-year expiry date when it comes for IRCC's perspective. So that they have that 5-year window. But after the 5 year is passed, it's not that they lose that report. All they need to do is to order a copy of the WES report again, and it will have a new report date on it, so it will be good for another 5 years. But the standard WES reports, there is no expiry. Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, and then this is a follow-up question for Carolyn by Deborah. What's the process for getting my degree reevaluated on the same topic? Do I have to start from scratch, or is there another option for people that are getting their degrees reevaluated?
Well, if I understand the question correctly, if they mean that they already have an ECA and they want now to upgrade that ECA to standard WES reports, we can use the same documents that we have received originally to work on the upgrade report, if the document requirements has not changed since that person has applied to WES. If everything is the same, then we can use the same documents we received to prepare the ECA to now work on the upgraded report. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Carolyn. Kevin, we got some questions regarding in what tools WES offers sort of prior to enrolling in a program. And Milan asked by email, if there's some sort of way I can know before joining education program abroad, what the equivalency is to Canada, or do I have to wait till I graduate to determine what the equivalency is?
Just to make sure I understand the question correctly, right? This is going abroad. This is going outside of Canada to do a program of study. Is that the case?
Sorry, yeah. Let me be more clear. So this Milan is asking before they join an educational institution outside of Canada.
Yes.
Is there a way of knowing maybe what previous WES assessments have come back as in terms of degree equivalency?
Understood. The really good question, and we've been we have had this question coming to us, believe it or not, from the very first day we opened our Canadian office. A good number of Canadians do study abroad. In fact, our federal government encourages individuals to do that. It is a lifelong kind of learning and experience. Unfortunately, like right now, the tool we have, the one that Carolyn spoke about, our degree equivalency tool. You can get equivalencies for US. Like if you use the Canadian version, you will get if you again that tool is available both in Canada and US. Right now, if you have Canadian education, you can go to the US tool and look at US equivalency and vice versa. Now, hypothetically, you want to do a program of study in England or in France. You can still use that tool. You have to go to, when you are using the tool, you go under, when you are selecting country, say select France, select the name of the institution, select the name of the credential, and you will be able to see the Canadian equivalency of that French credential. And you can do the same thing with US. So that degree equivalency tool is a good one for that purpose. In case you are not able to find the name of the institution and the program of study in that tool, unfortunately, we don't have a immediate plan to update that tool, but it will be one of our plan to update that in the future. And I hope you will really find the program of study in that tool. Yes.
Great, thanks, Kevin. Carolyn, Alan asked in chat today, which kind of assessment is required for IRCC? Is it the CC or the DD assessment?
So there is one application on our website for ECA. So this basically that immigration package is which one copy will go to the applicant, one copy will go to IRCC. So it's just one application for immigration purposes on our website.
Great, sounds good. And here's an interesting question I thought that came in chat too, and this is a follow-up, Carolyn, for you. Is it possible to use a WES evaluation for both the US and Canada?
Well, it depends to where they're going to use that WES report, either in US or Canada. It's usually it's a discretion of the end user, like where they use the recipient, whether they will accept, like if they are in US, they will use the the Canadian equivalency for admission or employment or licensing, and vice versa. It's always a discretion of the recipient, whether they will accept it or they will say, no, we want either a US equivalency or we need a Canadian equivalency for admissions or anything else. But it's a great question. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. Kevin, we got a question about non-traditional degrees. And the question is, does WES assess non-traditional degrees, diplomas, and certificates? How does WES assess non-traditional credentials or qualifications, such as vocational or technical certificates?
Very good one, especially like for immigration purpose, right? Lately, we see IRCC for express entry process. They have draws which include trades level, which is focused on trades level. Really good one. It is complicated. It is not a straightforward kind of a discussion, but let me simplify it. And the simplification is certain countries, like especially say Germany, Poland, certain countries, they have a very what we call strong academic component built to their apprenticeship training programs or trades level programs. For those countries, we are able to evaluate them and we are able to provide a credential evaluation report for immigration, not for immigration purpose, for employment purpose. So we are, but there are countries that their trades level trainings or apprenticeship trainings, they don't have very strong or comprehensive academic component to it, and we don't, and we have a language on our website that we may not evaluate trades level occupations. So depending on the country, and you may want to, if you have a doubt, you may want to apply to us. if we are in a situation that we cannot evaluate your credentials, we're going to cancel your file and give you full refund. Really, like if it is our kind of shortcoming, so-called, we're going to cancel your file and issue you full refund. So you have nothing to lose.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Carolyn, we got a couple questions about if there's a procedure for appealing maybe on assessment decision.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks. It is another great question. So yes, absolutely. WES has a free appeal process. So basically all you need, if you do not agree with the outcome for any reason, you can always go to our contact us page and then send us an email with your reference number and a detail of why you don't agree and like the reasoning behind that. And then what WES will do is we will reopen your file. It gets reviewed again. If you're absolutely correct, there will be a revision. You and your recipient will receive a revised report. If not, then you will get an explanation to why WES will not update or revise your report. So yes, absolutely, there is appeal process with WES. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, and maybe what are some common valid reasons for an assessment to be contested? Obviously people might disagree with the assessment, but what are some common valid reasons that people would choose to appeal the assessment?
It can be basically if they don't agree of the outcome itself. Like for example, if they have a master's program and it's become a bachelor, or if they contest with the number of the years that it took them to, like the length of the program, or the major was captured in a way that the applicant does not agree with. So this can be a sample of why people appeal their WES reports.
Just a quick addition to what Carolyn is saying. At WES, we don't have a separate fee for appeals. Our appeal process is free. So again, you have nothing to lose but appeal. Generally speaking, you can appeal twice, but after that, really, we have revisited that file very, very carefully. Normally, we are not going to change anything. It happens that through appeal, we change the credential evaluation report, not the whole thing, but some elements. So, but again, emphasis, our process is free.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. And then another question for you, Kevin. Should I get all my degrees evaluated or just my highest level? If I have a PhD and a bachelor's, should I get just my PhD evaluated or?
Very good one. For express entry process, we encourage you, actually on our website, we encourage you to submit your highest level academic credential because you're going to get a point for your highest academic attainment from IRCC. But at the same time, even for express entry, if you have a PhD, you can submit all of your credentials and we're going to evaluate all of them. That is for immigration purpose. When it comes to higher education, licensing, employment, absolutely, we encourage you to submit all of your credentials. Maybe not the high school diploma. Maybe you want to, especially if you have graduate level credentials, not necessarily your high school diploma, but definitely submit everything. And another reason for that is WES's fee, as Carolyn mentioned, it is per person. We are one of those very few services that our fee is per person. You can include all your formal academic credentials. I am emphasizing formal, like if you have a Microsoft certificate from a private company, no, we are not going to evaluate that. So yeah, submit all of your credentials. And I want to take this opportunity to mention about our turnaround time too. Like for immigration, right? For immigration that we talk for IRCC, our turnaround time is 30 business day. Again, very fast service, 30 business day. For our non-immigration evaluation reports, our turnaround time is 7 business days. Like again, another point I like to emphasize here is when it comes to express entry process, IRCC has designated 5 different agencies to provide ECAs. All good service, but my WES bias is WES is excellent, so use WES.
Great, I agree with that. Carolyn, just maybe a quick one, and then I have a follow-up question after. Somebody asked, where can they appeal? Maybe if you can just flag that for the audience right now. Is it an email address they can contact, or they do it through their portal?
No, it's through our website. I can put the link on the chat after I answer. But if you go to our website under Help Center, then click on Contact Us, then you will be able to choose. If you have a WES reference number, you click on it, and then you will have the option of typing your question, your appeal, and giving us your WES reference number. And all those queries goes to our customer service colleagues, and they will be able to assist you, or at least send those queries to the right departments at WES. But I will definitely put the link in chat.
Great, thanks. Okay, and Suman asked by email about documents they would have to submit to get their degree assessed. Specifically, I guess in the case where it's a non-electronic submission. How do I ensure that I'm getting the right documents for my educational institution? What do I ask for, or are there resources online that can help me know what to ask for?
So on our required document page, as I mentioned, which is in my humble opinion, is the most important page on WES's website, is the required document page. And I can put that again, that link in the chat as well. So when you go to our required document page, put your country of education, your university, your credential, your degree. It will tell you when you click on review or preview, it will tell you exactly what documents must come from the school and what more documents we accept from the applicant. Generally speaking, the degree certificate, copy of the degree certificate can be uploaded by the individual. But when it comes to the transcript, that has to come, that's a must, has to come directly from your university where you studied. So all you need to do is connect with your university, ask them to send a copy of your attested transcript. So basically what they do is they freshly stamp your transcript. They will put it in the university envelope. They will seal the envelope, and then they will stamp the seal. And that's how these universities send their hard copy transcripts to WES. So basically all you're asking your university, and we also have the transcript request form on our website as well. So you can use that form to communicate with your university, or if they have their own process on the website, like sometimes you go to the university's website and they might have a tab for their students saying, if you want us to send your transcript to an entity, this is the process, this is how much you pay. You can follow their process as well. So basically the required document page should have all the information you need in order to start the process of asking for documents, and also whatever is expected of you to upload in your WES account yourself. That's a great question. Yeah.
Thanks, Carolyn. Kevin, it seems like WES is working on a lot of cool things and is always sort of updating their services and products to make sure that we're giving the best experience to WES clients. Are there resources on the WES website where people can learn sort of more about updates that are happening with WES?
Absolutely, and this is really good one. This is giving me opportunity, both me and Carolyn, to talk about some other stuff that WES does beside credential evaluation. We have very strong, very separate team departments that they focus on social impact. And the information, their work, their valuable work is highlighted on different parts of our website. I can highlight few of them. Like for instance, we do a lot of research. We do a lot of research on different issues. Say employability issues. The barriers that immigrants face landing in Canada when they are trying to find employment, the challenges there. WES has done a lot of work there. When it comes to licensure, we have some publications there, and not just the challenges, the solutions, and all of that. There are so much there. There are so much there. We have a electronic newsletter which is called WENR, World Education News and Reviews. Like if you are attending this webinar, you are from academic sector, you are from licensure sector, I encourage you to subscribe to our WENR. If you Google WENR, it will come up. Those are the great research, data-driven research that we do. Another very, very important, I hope we have time to emphasize this, Riley. Another very, very important service we have is the WES Gateway program. If you have noticed, so far, me and Carolyn, we are keep emphasizing that official academic document must come directly from the source, from the issuing institution. But we know in in real world, that's not the real world. We have a lot of individuals for wrong reason, they have been displaced. They have different challenges. One of their challenges is they cannot access their official academic documents. So for individuals in that scenario, in that situation, from 7 countries only, we don't have this for all countries. For 7 countries, we provide them credential evaluation based on non-verified documents or documents in their possession. The good thing, the good news about this alternative credential evaluation is really good number of academic institutions, licensing bodies, they do accept these reports. They accept it for admissions, they accept for licensing, and I encourage you to check our website and learn more about the WES Gateway program.
Great.
Thanks,
Kevin. And thank both of you for your insightful answers here at CanadaVisa. I know that we're very thankful, and I'm sure our audience is. This concludes, unfortunately, our Q&A session of this event. We got a lot of great questions towards the end, and I encourage people to join our upcoming webinars to ask these questions or just send them directly to WES. And I'm sure that they would be more than happy to answer your questions. Tomorrow, just a few housekeeping things before we end this webinar. You're going to receive a recorded version of the webinar where you can go back and maybe reference some of the more specific things that were discussed today. You're also going to receive a PDF version of the slides that were presented. Once again, thank you so much to WES for joining us and devoting some time to answer our questions. We're really appreciative. And maybe if there's a few final words you guys would like to say before we end this webinar. Kevin?
Thank you. Again, thank you for your partnership, Riley, CanadaVisa.com. I really want to mention to audience again, if your intention is to immigrate to Canada, make sure you visit CanadaVisa.com websites. Subscribe to their newsletter. I receive it it's one of the best newsletter I receive, and I read it carefully. Also, really my best wishes for you in everything you will do in the future, whether it is employment, immigration, higher education, or licensing. We are one of the solutions. WES is one of the solutions. I'm not saying that we are all the solutions for all of your challenges, but we are one of the solutions for some of your challenges, and we do our best to serve you, and we are always open for your comments and questions. Happy holidays and Happy New Year as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words, Kevin. And Carolyn?
Same thing. I double my thanks to CanadaVisa.com with Kevin. We appreciate your partnership as well. As far as I'm concerned, what I want to say is just be kind with the process, with yourself, with the time, and also just always get your information from the source. I know talking to family and friends is valuable, but when it comes, if you have any questions, go to the source to get your answers. That will be a couple of the things that I would want to mention here. Again, happy holidays, happy, healthy, successful 2024. And thanks, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Wes.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for joining. This concludes our webinar, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.